The medical facilities in Ecuador rate as well as any that we've ever seen in the United States. And the cost for that is a fraction of what it'd be in the United States. There's a couple of stories I could tell you about medical care. One particular happened to Linda. We were up in the mountains north of Quito and Cotacachi area, and she got an altitude sickness problem. And so we took her back to the hotel, and they called a doctor. The doctor came to the hotel, and he examined her for better part of an hour. Took her blood pressure, all kinds of measurements that he could take, and he determined it was an altitude sickness. It wasn't a stroke or a serious problem. And it cost us $20 for that visit. And then he prescribed a couple of pills for her, and we went down and got the pills at a local pharmacia, and it was $2 for the pills. And it cleared up whatever problem she had right then. A guy that we know, he came down here and he needed rotacuff surgery a few years ago. And so he was worried about not be able to speak to the doctor. So he says the doctor is going to have to speak English, and he's going to have to be educated in the United States. And I need medical facilities close by where I'm staying. I don't want to travel all the way across the Quito where he was just to get this done. So there was 3 or 4 doctors, and they picked out names out of the phone book, and he went to see them, and every one of them spoke English. Every one of them was educated in the United States. And the doctor that he picked out for the surgery was a surgeon educated at Texas A&M University. And he asked the doctor, he says, well, where can you do this operation? And the doctor says, well, there's 4 or 5 places, major places in Quito we could do it. You pick the one closest to where you're staying in the hotel. I can practice in any of them. So he picked one close to the hotel, a few blocks away from the hotel. They went in, and that morning, and this was on like a Monday and a Thursday, the surgery was scheduled for that Thursday, 3 days later. And so he went in Thursday, and he didn't even think about it. They just went in, they started prepping him for the operation. He went in instead and did the operation and everything. Not one of them asked him for a medical card, insurance,
how he was going to pay for it,
how he's going to pay for it, credit card or anything. They went in and had the surgery, and then later on they asked him that they settled up on it. The whole rotacuff surgery was like $2,200, and his mother had just had one previously. That year was $25,000 in the United States. So what we're going to do for medical down here is we're going to pay for any out-of-pocket, any medical we have, and we'll get medical insurance for catastrophic illnesses. But just most of it is going to be able to pay for out of pocket.